Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Carlton People. On today's episode, I've got a guy who you're very familiar with him without realizing it. I'm speaking about Ethan. Now, Ethan here does all of our preview and review thumbnails for the channel. And he's a fantastic, talented young man. Ethan, what's happening, brother?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Mate, you're welcome. You're welcome. As I was saying before we started recording, you young guys, I tell you what, there's a lot of talent coming through. I've had the pleasure of meeting a few of you now. Obviously, the Carlton FC Daily Boys and some others. But yes, the way you carry yourselves, and even some of the young guys on the fan cams, the way you carry yourselves is very impressive, my man. Talk to me. What's happening in your world?
Yeah, so I'm an aspiring graphic designer. That's what I would like to do in the future, preferably for like a sports team. Like obviously Carlton would be the dream to make all their graphics and things like that for social media. So for probably since 2017, I've been practicing, trying to get better, improve my graphics, like get a more professional look or things like that. And yeah, I think I've gotten pretty good at it now. And yeah.
It's going to be a sad day when the club hire you, mate, because I'll have to find someone else. It's going to be a very sad day.
Well, yeah, that's a dream to hopefully work for Carlton one day as their graphics person.
No, fair enough, mate. Well, why don't we start with Carlton? Let's because you are a blue bagger. Let's start with that. Talk to me about where did it all begin for you? What's your earliest memory, and how did you become a Carlton supporter?
So, I think literally the day I was born, my dad signed me up for a Carlton membership. So, I've been a member my whole life, and yeah, he's been taking me to games pretty much my whole life as well. But I don't really it's very vague memories of games until probably around 2013. One of my first proper memories is probably when Cruiser kicked that winning goal against Port. That was an exciting game. Yeah.
You remember that clearly, do you?
Yeah, that's probably my most clear, earliest memory.
Wow. So you were at the game?
Yeah.
That was a special moment. Bit sad to see the big tractor go. It's a weird year, isn't it? 2020 for so many reasons. Obviously we haven't been to a game this year, being from Victoria, and then we've lost some of the players that we both grew up watching, and we didn't really get to watch them live again. And it's funny, you've almost got to enjoy the moment because you don't know when the next one's going to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So 2013, it all kicks in. The memory kicks in. I'm assuming you were at the 2013 final.
The Richmond. Yeah, I was. I don't remember that as well as the Port Adelaide game for whatever reason, but yeah, I was there. I remember it being very loud. Incredible atmosphere. Like next best thing is probably when I went to the NBA. That was it's almost closer to that than anything else in Australia.
Yeah. So, who are some of your? I mean, you're at that point in your life now where your heroes start emerging because they're the first players that you remember. So, from your experience, who are some of the guys who like your favorite players?
I always loved Yaron. He was so fast, just running off half back. That's why I reckon if we do manage to get Zach Williams, he's quite similar to Yaron, I guess, in the way that he's burst off half back. Yeah, Yaron was probably my most favorite player to watch.
Yeah. What do you see when you look at the club now? How do you assess the 2020 year? What have you taken from it?
I think we've got a good base group of players, but we just got to build on that. And I think there's still probably, 5 or 6 players in the current squad that do need improving on if we want to get to that next level. So, yeah, I think this trade period, if we can try and bring in some reinforcements that are first team quality, that will be the goal.
Yeah. Are you confident that we're heading in the right direction, or do you think it's just a player thing? Do you think we just need to add the right players and then we're good to go, or what else do you think we might need?
Well, I think the motivation of the players is also a big thing because it does seem like sometimes they are just not really in the right place, like with the Adelaide game. I think you just got to get them focused on winning really. So yeah, I think we are heading in the right direction, but there's just a few things that we clearly need to fine tune, which I think is good because the issues we have are very clear. It's not like we're not sure what's going wrong.
Yeah. Let's go deeper into your graphic design background because how old are you now?
16.
Mate, unbelievable. So much talent. So much talent. Um, Having said that, though, you've got to make sure you keep up the hard work with the talent, and that's the winning formula. But talk to me about why graphic design? What brought you to there?
So always on Instagram, I would see teams post these graphics, and I just thought like, surely someone could do better than this. Like this can't be the best that's out there. So yeah, I tried to take it upon myself to see if I could do better, and yeah, it's just been developing ever since, really.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the beauty of, I mean, I grew up when I was growing up. So when I was your age, I think the iPhone 1 had just come out, right? So, and that was massive. That was sort of like the new era. And then I think, yeah, you're right. Like Instagram happened a few years after that, and then now we're at this point where we have so many different platforms that you can share work, like YouTube for
Yeah,
video, Instagram for graphics. We've never really had that type of to distribute your work like that. There's never really been that. Now you've obviously grown up only knowing that.
yeah,
Do you
exactly.
what do you take from that? Do you understand and do you appreciate that is actually available to you now?
Yeah, I try and get my work out there on as many platforms as possible, like Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, just to try and get as much exposure as possible and get my name out there as much as possible. So hopefully get job opportunities and things like that.
Yeah.
On Twitter, the social media director at the NFL actually, not NFL, NRL, sorry, noticed my work and I did a couple graphics for the NRL on their Instagram page. So yeah, it shows like you can really find job opportunities from anywhere now. It doesn't have to be that one direct path from school to uni to yeah.
100%, man. 100%. It's you can create your own livelihood if you use the platform the right way. I mean, there's
Yeah.
people talk about social media has ruined us as a society. I think it's just exposed us really for who we already were.
Yeah.
But when you talk about from a business point of view, when you want to connect with people, like I've met you through just your page. I think I just I browse Instagram as much as what you do, and you come across work that you really like, and yeah, it's just so interesting that literally um, one piece of work can be seen by the right person, and then it can change everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, who are some of your inspirations? Who are some of the people that have inspired you with what you do? Certain artists or designers or clubs, teams? Where do you draw your inspiration from?
One of the main guys, it's a Australian guy called Tyson Beck. He actually does a lot of the NBA work, and he used to design the Carlton memberships. And yeah, I really liked his style. I was, trying to almost recreate it at some points, but now I've sort of created my own kind of style, like with different aspects of all these different designers I see. Yeah, I usually I follow a bunch of designers and just see a couple aspects I like and try to interpret them or implement them into my designs.
Yeah. What would you say? And I don't know anything about graphic design lingo, but you're more than welcome to use it. What would you say your style is? What do you appreciate from graphic design?
I really like just the use of text. Really, I think you can do so much with text and graphics. It's eye-catching. It tells you exactly what you're looking at, pretty much. So I've tried to go for like a more professional style that it's got the text, couple images of players instead of just one singular image, and shapes and colors, just eye-catching stuff. Really, just trying to catch the viewer's eye.
Yeah. Yeah. So you talk about you want to work for the club.
Mm.
Why? Is it because you love you love the Blues, you want to contribute to them? Like, would you take an opportunity? I don't know if an NBA team called or a team overseas called, or do you want to stay?
Obviously, I would love to work for an NBA team. I'm a big basketball fan, but you know, ever since I started graphic design, the main goal was always to try and work for Carlton. Like, I would, if another AFL team did offer me a job, I would probably take it. But the main dream would be to work for Carlton, because even just like to make my dad proud and stuff like that. He's always been a Carlton fan his whole life. Yeah, it would be pretty cool, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I love that. So I appreciate what you've just said, but listen, mate, if the Bombers come calling or if the Pies
Nah,
come calling, I'm sorry, but we're going to have a conversation, and
yeah,
I
not
just think you're
happening.
going to have to say no.
No, couldn't do that.
Yeah. So what are some of your memories going to the footy with Dad? What are some of the memories that you have?
Um, all the family days, with that was pretty good. One of the more recent ones was the pre-season. I think a year or 2 years ago against St Kilda at Princess Park. I know that was a pretty special moment for him, because he watched all the games at Princess Park, and to watch a win with me at Princess Park against St Kilda, that was pretty special. Um, yeah, obviously like I said earlier, the Port Adelaide Richmond games. Obviously, the last couple years, it hasn't been a lot of a lot of wins, but I remember going home early a lot of times
Yeah.
to try and
No,
beat the traffic.
there's something special about going to the footy, especially with family. There where all your memories begin, really. You know, your parents or mum, dad, whoever it is, whether you go as a family or with an uncle or a cousin. There's something special in that, and just being able to sit there as a fan. And I sort of contemplated as well, like, oh yeah, the dream, work for the club, and then I start thinking, like, if you work for the club, can you still be a fan? Can I still sit there and
Yeah,
scream and shout if I have to be professional and chill out a little bit? I don't know. I don't know if I could do that.
yeah, it's true. I haven't really thought about it that way.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you have any other siblings?
Yeah, I've got a younger sister.
So she's a Carlton supporter as well.
Yeah, she's not really into it, but she is a Carlton supporter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, has it been tough? Um, obviously you've seen. You haven't seen a winning season in terms of
No, not
where
really.
we win more than we lose. You might not remember 2011. You might not remember 2010.
Yeah,
So
not really. No.
do you keep the faith because you've completely fallen in love with the club, or does your dad just make you hold on?
Yeah, even pretty much all my mates are Carlton supporters as well. We're always talking about it. Uh, it's just something like you can just see one day if it happens, it will just be such a good moment for everyone around me and me, obviously. But yeah, I really do love the club, all the players. Like I couldn't see myself supporting another club.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. So, out of the young boys that we've got now, who are some of the ones that you think have got a serious future? That maybe aside from Walsh and Wiedering, because we know they're going to be guns,
Yeah,
probably already guns anyway. So, who are some of your favourite like youngsters that maybe don't get spoken about as much?
I think TDK is really special. I think like he could build into like a Grundy type ruckman with how he can almost become that another midfielder. I remember watching him in a VFL game, and yeah, you could just see he's got the skill. He's just got to put in the work, and he should be like a really good future ruck for probably the next 10 years.
He's got a little bit of cruiser in him, doesn't he? Like the way that we talk about
Yeah,
him, like the
he
second
does.
efforts, the shepherding, the below his knees. I remember when Cruiser was drafted, it was the same sentence. It was he's almost like another midfielder. It's kind of cool to see that he's obviously one of 10 children, Tom, and he
Yeah,
obviously you learn from your older siblings a lot, and it's almost like he came to the club as a fresh baby giraffe, tall fella, and he had all these older ruckmen around him to learn from. And you hope that he can take a bit from, Matthew Lobe, Matthew Cruiser, Andrew Phillips, Pitternet, and put it all together. And similar to you've got your graphic designers that you have
mm,
draw inspiration from, and you sort of try and take something from all of them, and then eventually just become your own.
Yeah. Well, when we drafted him at 38, I wasn't really sure like what we were doing, but yeah, it makes sense now that we did need a cruiser replacement eventually. So yeah.
It was very, very important for sure. So, what grade would you give the club out of let's say out of 10 for season 2020? What would you give them?
Look, it was quite disappointing towards the end of the season because all the finals hope and things like that. But I never expected us to make finals. Like I think I did a prediction post on the Carlton fan page I created for a little bit, and I said we'd finish 12th. So technically, they did exceed my expectations with 11. So I would probably say 7 out of 10, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. And I know that we're rumored to have been heavily linked, almost like it's almost a done deal with Zach Williams. But if you could pick any player from any club, regardless, no money restrictions, no salary cap, who would you bring into the club?
Oh, probably, I reckon someone like Lockie Whitfield would be incredible for us. He can play pretty much any position. He's like Walsh with his running. He can just run all day, and very skillful. Or even like a Jack Steele. He's really become like a star this year at St Kilda.
Yeah,
He'd help out Cripps a lot in the midfield.
Yeah, he's almost he wears the 9 as well. He's almost he's like Cripps.
Yeah.
We won't say he's better because that's just blasphemy. That's not right. But yeah, he has come along nicely. Okay, well, I'll ask you this. I ask everybody this question before I let them go. When are we? And we're going to look back on this many years to come from now. So when are we lifting up Premiership number 17?
Well, I'd say next year we should be looking at making finals, and then probably next 2 years after that breaking into the top 4. So probably 2024, 2025, I reckon.
2024, 2025. All right, so we've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think we need to go through finals and learn the lessons and lose maybe, and then take those lessons and get better, or do you think we can just be good next year and be good all the time?
It could happen. It would be hard though because we really have no finals experience in this squad at all, other than Murph and Kerno, really. So I think we do need to get some finals experience before we really break into that top team.
Yeah, bit more heartache to come, isn't there?
Probably, yeah.
Mate, I want to thank you so much for your time. Before I let you go, I should say, where can we find you? We'll put the links to your socials in the description below. I might even have some, I will, as you'll see here, I'll have some floating images of your work. We might send this into the club and see if they can help you out and see what we can do. But where can we find you on social media?
Yep, so Instagram is Ethan Ali Effects, all one word. Yeah, I've run a Carlton page as well called Baggers Media. Don't really post in there much, but a lot of Carlton artwork on there if you want to check it out as well. So, yep.
Well, mate, I really appreciate your work for the channel this year. I'm looking forward to next year, although maybe I shouldn't send this video to the club because I want you for myself. Look, wish you all the best, mate. If there's anything we can do to help out, and I guess everyone watching this, please go and follow him. He does, seriously, some phenomenal work. Your dad will be very proud of you. You're doing some good stuff. Keep the hard work because the talent's there. Keep the hard work, and you've got a formula for success, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Go Baggers, hey?
Yeah.